hands in the air. Come on.
Hello everyone, welcome back, and this is going to be my actual review of the Lenovo G51 laptop. And so yeah, so let's get started. So I bought this from Best Buy for about $300. It came included with a piece of came free with this internet security dealio that who cares. No one's gonna really use it anyway, really. I already have my own software that I find very good already pre-installed. So this will be my daily notebook for things such as schoolwork and just around the house, kind of lounging. Yeah, so bought this from Best Buy, $300. They did offer me a copy of Microsoft's Office for $90, and I was like, I don't really need it. But I didn't actually go to the store to pick it up. My parents actually went to go pick it up, and they ended up buying that $90 thing on their own money. And then I told them, well, we don't really use Office, we use Google, so it wouldn't really help me that much. And unfortunately, you can't return cards. So yeah, so it's installed. However, I don't really know. Oh, there it goes. So, yeah, it's installed, but I'm just not really gonna, I don't know if I'll need it that much. So, yeah. So let's kind of go over some of the specs list and some of the features it has. So right here on the front, it says, so the processor powering it is an AMD, come on camera, figure your life out. Okay, so it's an AMD A8 quad-core processor at 2.2 gigahertz, that turbo boosts up to 2.5 gigahertz. It has it's an APU, so it has the AMD R5 graphics that have 1 gigabyte of video memory dedicated. It comes included with 8 gigabytes of memory in a single DIMM. It has a 1 terabyte hard drive from Western Digital that unfortunately is ridiculously slow. It's 5400 RPM, and that is, in my opinion, kind of obsolete nowadays. That's very slow for any laptop or computer. But Lenovo did know this, I'm sure, so that's why they pre-installed it with a copy of Windows 10, and you can because it looks like Windows 10. Whoa. Windows 10 is a very fast operating system. Its boot times are very fast. And of course, Windows 10 does come with a couple of benefits, such as reduced power consumption, DirectX 12, which helps with games, because it's not the world's powerful laptop ever, but it can play games such as Minecraft and a couple of like little indie games like Unturned or the original Battlefield, which actually is installed right there. Oopsies. So yeah, I mean, it has some perks like that where you can play a lot of the fun old games. Definitely has enough horsepower to power its 1080p YouTube playback. Yeah, it does come equipped with some slightly dodgy but decent onboard sound. It has the Dolby, I don't even know how to say this word really well. The Dolby audio solution. I'm not exactly sure on the whole how to say that really, but the audio is okay. It has two speakers located here and over here. They can get quite loud actually. But the onboard audio isn't spectacular anyway. It's definitely nothing to compare to. But it's decent. It's good for, listening to some YouTube or whatever you do on the go. It has onboard Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which actually appears to be running quite smoothly. It's quite fast. No problems there. It does have USB. It does have USB 3.0. It keeps on focus there, sadly. It does come with a USB 3.0. They are on the side of the laptop. I think I'm actually just going to turn my camera off to show you. So it does have two USB 3.0 ports over here. It has an HDMI port. It has a kind of interesting Ethernet port or RJ45 port. It's kind of like it's protected, and then you put your cable in, and a little piece of plastic will fold down that keeps it locked in at all times, which I thought was pretty cool actually. And then a standard just VGA port. And here is a ventilation hole on the side of it, and the proprietary charging port. So on the other side for ports, we have a read and write disk drive, DVD drive. And then a standard USB 2.0 port, a card reader, and the headphone microphone jack. It also has a Kingston lock on the side too. So the keyboard is a full keyboard with a keypad, a 10-key keypad over here, and it has a lot of the fun little FN kind of features with the FN key over here. You can do a lot of things actually on here, such as you can disable the trackpad, you can engage the switch screen or switch desktops like this when you go to like the desktop button. Brightness controls, you know, all the usual stuff. Brightness control, monitor adjustments, the switch control panel, volume controls. You can disable the trackpad if you want, and I can see why they would actually add that because going into one of my kind of the major problems I see with this laptop is the trackpad itself. The trackpad isn't the greatest. It does work. It's not smooth when you move your finger over it. It kind of feels like a plasticky feel. These buttons, when you click on the edges, are quite loud in different places. You know, stuff like that. And the positioning of it. If you're trying to play a game like this with WASD, you're constantly hitting the trackpad, which is moving your character around. So they kind of did that by adding this disable trackpad key, which then disables it, and it's working again. So I thought that was okay. You know, they kind of fixed that, but the trackpad placement isn't great, especially if you're like typing really fast or whatever. And kind of moving on to the keyboard, it's definitely, you know, it's good. It's okay. It's not the greatest. I do like that the keys are quite smooth and everything. It's kind of mushy in the middle. It's flexy. It kind of bends a little bit, but it does have good travel, and I can see myself typing quite good on this keyboard. Moving up, let's go off the computer to the screen. This is where I'm going to have to take a little bit of points off here for Lenovo. This screen isn't good, really. The color and I guess the the actual kind of the quality of it and the look is perfectly fine. However, it is kind of glossy, and the viewing angles are pretty bad, especially if you look down and up. Left to right is okay, but straight up is not that good. You might not be able to really tell the difference. Well, yeah, you can. So the viewing angles aren't the greatest. Left to right is okay, I guess. You could technically see what's going on, but up and down is terrible. The screen itself is about 15.5 inches, I believe. I don't remember perfectly, but I believe it's about 15.5 inches. So it's not terrible. It definitely works quite well. It's very bright. I don't know if you're going to tell that on camera, but it's all the way up, and it goes quite dark, so you can work at nighttime without breaking your eyes or hurting your eyes. That's kind of it for this laptop. It does come with a webcam and front face, and I think it just has a microphone built in. The camera isn't that good. I think maximum resolution is around 680 by 360 and 30 FPS. And the microphone, I haven't really tested it that much, really at all. I wouldn't expect a huge amount. Yeah, you can Skype with it, but it's not really great. I would say you probably want to get a decenter webcam that you could plug straight into the computer. I'm surprised Lenovo is one of those companies that doesn't really give you all that bloatware. There was a couple things on here, like the Lenovo ID, there was a Lenovo manual program, there was a couple programs which I removed perfectly fine. Like I just hit uninstall and it just poof, right off the computer, nothing left. So yeah. Some of the bonuses to Windows 10 is, of course, the App Store, kind of where you can get apps like Crossy Road, the Minecraft Windows 10 edition. You can get all sorts of apps. There's Xbox apps. There's all of this stuff. I do have Photoshop installed on here, but no, that's for school. So let's open up Crossy Roads here. Turn the volume up a little bit. You guys a little bit of demo. Ooh. Robot shooting things. Oh, he's shooting things all right. So now you can kind of hear the speakers. You can see the graphical performance. Now, of course, this game. Oh, I suck. Of course, the game isn't hard to play or whatever. Yeah, I'm not good. Whatever. Of course, the game isn't that great. I mean, I'm not that good. Performance is fine. Even on like games like this. I'll open this up. Here's the Minecraft Windows 10 edition. So, fortunately with this game, the trackpad doesn't really work. You can't control your character very well with the trackpad, but performance is good, and it's running at more than around 60%. And this is the kind of the dumbed down version of Minecraft. It's not very intensive. It's pretty much resembles the Pocket Edition. However, normal Minecraft actually does run just fine on here too, surprisingly enough. So, we talked about a couple of the bad things. Let's go about the good things. Battery life. Let's talk about battery life for a little bit. The battery on here is actually quite good. Fully charged, takes about an hour to go, and it'll last you if you're doing absolutely nothing with the brightness all the way down, it'll last you about 5 hours, 5.5 hours. Doing light things like typing up an essay, going on Google, for instance, maybe about 4 hours tops. With the brightness all the way up too, you'll get about 4 hours tops. Doing things like playing a game, maybe at 2 hours at most, depending on what kind of game it is. Mostly things like maybe watching videos, approximately like about 3 hours, maybe on tops. So yeah, that's pretty good. Battery life is actually surprisingly good. The battery it's rated for 2200 milliamp hours, which is actually perfectly fine for a laptop that actually does not use a whole lot of power. Yeah, so the battery is pretty okay. It probably, if I was going to use this somewhere where it needs to last quite a long time, I could always buy a extra battery pack, which will probably most likely have a much higher percentage or much higher amount inside, because everything on this laptop is completely replaceable and openable. You can take off the keyboard, you can take out the battery, you can take out the RAM, you can take out the CPU, you can take out all the components, even down to the actual motherboard you can disassemble to repair and replace, which I thought was quite handy. And there's actually an extra DIMM slot for RAM, so I can always upgrade to maybe 16 gigabytes if I really wanted to for whatever reason, and it wouldn't really be necessary to, but it's an option, and it's there. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about this laptop. Oh wait, one more thing. The heat output. It is really, it's almost like it's passively cooled. There is a fan on the side over here, and it rarely gets warm if you have it on your lap. It just rarely gets warm. Even if I'll play in a game, like a really intensive game or something, it still is perfectly fine. And it's very quiet laptop. The only thing you can actually really hear is the actual hard drive spinning up. that's really it. You can actually see my reflection. That's how glossy this screen is. Oh well. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the screen. It's not the greatest, but hey, you know what? For $300 for this laptop with a quad core, a terabyte of RAM, a terabyte of hard drive space, and 8 gigabytes of RAM, that's surprisingly good. And yeah, so I hope to get some good usage out of this laptop. Hopefully, I'm going to try and keep it in the best condition I can. I'm kind of the type of person who keeps their electronics in the best condition possible. So yeah, we'll just show you the cover. So there it is. I'll just flip it over. Charging cable isn't exactly the longest thing ever, but it's okay. So looking at the back, there is large cutouts. So right here is the removable battery. There's 2 locks here and here. You can clip together and it'll pull out. This huge plate right here is removable to expose all the components. If you take out these screws, all of the screws, you can actually disassemble the entire casing and pull off the keyboard if something is wrong with the keyboard or something like that. I'm not going to take it off right now because it's technically in sleep mode. But if you were to disassemble it, well, actually, you know what? It's in sleep mode. I'm just going to disconnect the power. Why don't we just take a look inside? So here's 3 screws to remove. Oopsies. There is 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna just remove that. So I would normally say turn the laptop off and completely remove the battery and let the power drain out of it completely. But whatever. It's okay. I'm not going to touch anything with a screwdriver or with my hands or anything. I also would probably say take off socks and everything, but it's fine. Not a huge static thing, whatever. So once you take the screw off, you slide it forward, unless the screws need to be completely removed. I'm guessing they do, because it slides forward. It's not a pull-up laptop. Okay, and slide it forward and pull it off. So yeah, so here it is. Here's the backing of it. Move it out of the way. Pull it forward. Might just do something really quick. Sorry about that. I forgot about that fan right there. So let's just take a look at what we have. So RAM slot right here, and then there's 2 RAM slots. So one right here and one right here. This one's empty. This is the 8 gig DIMM. Here's the terabyte hard drive from Western Digital. You can tell because it's blue, and I actually already took it out just to look at it. Here is the WAN, the Wi-Fi adapter and stuff like that. The processor is right here, and there's a pipe that runs to the fan. That's a blower design. That's kind of it. A lot of it, the disk drive is removable. You just have to take off, I believe, this screw, and then it slides out. Here's the backing of it. So there's air vents for the fan, and then just passive vents for the RAM and hard drive. The speakers here, so here they are, one right here and over here, so you can see they're kind of smaller ones. That's about it for this anyway. A couple things are hidden, you know, such as like the power stuff is hidden over here somewhere. Some of the components are hidden around. The graphics is an APU, so there's no other chip for the graphics. It's all up in here. Which this whole plastic kind of casing over it right here is all removable with the included screws that are actually pointed out for you. So yeah, I'm just gonna put it back together. So I've already taken this apart one time just to look at the hard drive to see the speeds of it, which I did say again were 5400. And I guess, you know what, you're gonna have to make some compromises. It's 1000 gigabytes. That's pretty good, you know. I'm never really gonna need 1000 gigabytes to store really that much schoolwork. I doubt it. But you never know what projects may come up. Maybe I need to edit some things on the road or make a video and store it on my computer. But school does have servers that you can use to edit videos with. on things like After Effects, Premiere Pro, and Photoshop and things, and you can save all the stuff you make onto your local computer. So yeah, so that was the, so this is my Lenovo, my new laptop. Okay, so there we go, plug that back in, open it, oh, okay. It's not like a clip either, it's more of a thing. Oh, snow. There we go. So, yeah. No, also, it's definitely an upgrade from my old one that was pretty bad. So, yeah, so thank you very much for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.